All right, Pickle. It is now time for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday.
The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your Helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more.
All right. If you've got questions about high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, all the things, get them in on the comments on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll get to as many as we can. Let's talk a little bit about last night. You were at AT&T Stadium for the weirdest doubleheader of all time.
Wise County double, yeah.
Yeah, like a Thursday night doubleheader from like three A teams.
Yeah, some local businessman there in Bridgeport Paradise, Wise County, decided to rent the stadium out and let the schools there play. And
That's a
it's
pretty
a cool
busy.
experience for those kids.
They're a decent little crowd. Like, I mean, look, it's Paradise and it's Bridgeport. They're not going to fill up AT&T, but
No,
like,
they brought decent crowds.
Yeah,
they
good.
brought decent crowds for their size. Paradise blew out Millsap 56-14.
it's not a bad Millsap team.
No, and Paradise is Austin Iglesias. Their quarterback is he is in the mix for he got that dog in him.
Ooh, you heard it here first.
He's got that dog. He may have that dog in him.
Ooh, we're going to do some more research and
Yeah, we're
figure
gonna
out.
have to research
Do the
these-
X-ray.
I dropped that line for you on Valley the other night.
Oh, did you?
Mhm.
Awesome.
We
Thank you.
might have to do the X-rays.
How is that not branded? Where is Rudes? Where is Scoops and Rob at? Like, come on.
Yeah, so we may have to do some X-rays, see if he's in fact got
Yeah,
that dog.
we're
in
waiting
him.
for
Stay
the X-rays
tuned.
to come in.
Oh, we
Yeah.
should get like something like Touchstone Imaging or something to.
Or like
some-
how about like PetSmart or something?
Oh, yeah,
there,
that's
Or
true.
Chewy.com.
Maybe I could get some discounts off of that.
Yeah. So, Paradise. I think Paradise is, Brock and Whitesboro
Yeah.
obviously take up a lot of oxygen in that district, but Paradise is going to be a force to be contended with. And then Bridgeport, Bridgeport very quietly 3-1. They blow out Benbrook 56-21, and the Bridgeport offense is cooking. They've scored 56 points or more their last 3 games.
JD Martinez.
Coach
He's
Martinez.
a ball coaching dude.
Yeah, Bridgeport rolled. Benbrook Bridgeport was Paradise from the jump rolled.
Yeah.
Bridgeport Benbrook was close for a quarter, and then Bridgeport hit the gas. So it was weird being at AT&T Stadium when there was like only. I'm used to going there and it's the state championships and there's a ton of people there. It's weird being in that press box with like 3 other people and Phil.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And Phil.
Phil.
Yeah.
Mr. Phil. Shout out Mr.
How
Phil.
is Mr. Phil doing?
He's doing great.
Good.
Good.
He was a little, not pleased about the Cowboys game, but
I'm sure he
we
was.
all were disappointed.
One
so.
in the same, Mr.
Yeah.
Phil. One in the
Right
same.
there with you, brother.
Yeah, exactly. We went somewhere, Pickle.
We did. We went to scenic Bluffdale, Texas.
We went to Bluffdale.
Bluffdale actually is pretty.
Oh, it was gorgeous. from
There's
the,
a bluff. There's a bluff
There's
there.
a bluff. And the football stadium's right near the bluff.
Yeah.
And so Bluffdale's been playing football. I want to say this is their 7th season. They have not been, because they transitioned from a K through 8 school, and then I think you'd basically go to Toller or you'd go maybe to Stephenville for high
I
schow.
think they went to Toller.
Toller.
I believe, yeah.
But they've since basically they've kind of, okay, we're going to open up all grades. So they've started a football team, and they've built a decent little 6-man stadium, stuff like that.
They've got a good little press box.
Good little press box.
The concession stand's adorable.
So this is a top 10 matchup in 1A Division 2. And first of all, the crowd, considering, was excellent.
Yeah,
There might have been 400 people there, and I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you consider it's Bluffdale and Cherokee, and Cherokee's 100 miles away and not on a freeway.
It's a Thursday.
Yeah, it's a Thursday.
Yeah.
Awesome crowd.
Yeah, we pulled into the first parking lot, and it was full. We had to go up to the second parking lot, and then in the stands, there were not enough stands to where everyone was lining the fence on both sides. It was very, very cool.
It was. Let me see.
And the
if I
game was good, too. It looked like
No,
Cherokee
it
was
was.
going to possibly 45 them, and then all of a sudden at halftime, Bluffdale came back, and it was only a 4-point game at the half.
Bluffdale's got an enrollment of 56, and Cherokee has an enrollment of 45.
Nice.
So the fact that they had that crowd out there was awesome. But you're right. So Cherokee jumped out. They returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, and then they got to stop, and they scored again. You're like,
Oh, here we go.
It was like 28-0 at one point.
They
We're
came
going,
back.
oh, gosh.
Bluffdale, really what they did was they took the air out of the ball, and they started taking up a lot of time, like long time consuming drives and converting a lot of third downs and stuff. And they scored at the buzzer of halftime to pull it to a 1-score game. And you're like,
Which was an insane call, too.
oh, yeah. They ran the fake spike.
Yeah.
They had no timeouts. They faked the spike, and they threw
Nice.
a wide open receiver. It was
I love
awesome. Wade Johnson was in his bag, but then Cherokee in the second half really pulled away. They tightened up defensively, only gave up one touchdown, and then their running game really got humming. They started blocking really well, and they roared to a 84-44, 88-48 or 84-44. I know it was a 40-point game.
84-44.
A win. Awesome to be out there. Awesome. Everyone loved the swag wagon.
Swag wagon looks good.
It looks great.
The
It's got a
superintendent
refresh.
welcomed us into the parking lot.
Yeah, it was like so we pull in and like I presume we were going to pay for parking, so I kind of roll in the window like, oh no, you guys are great. And so like a woman and a man standing there, it's like, okay, well thank you, go park. And then like later, the same guy, the parking attendant walks up and says, hey, I'm the superintendent at Bluffdale ISD. I'm like,
That checks out.
that rules.
Yeah, that checks out. Yeah. He probably
we
drove the bus.
I talked
I
with
bet
the-
superintendents in some school districts, drive the bus.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
tiny districts like that.
Talk with a gentleman on the sideline, and he said he was like, yeah, I'm from Stephenville. I just drove up for 6-man action, good state-right game and stuff. It was a lot of fun. We stopped at Heim on the way, Heim Barbecue. Our buddy
so
Travis
good.
Heim.
Strong move there.
So we went with Erin Hardigan.
I saw y'all got Hardigan out
We
there.
did. She had
Supernova
she had a great time.
showed up.
She had a great time. And I don't know. Like we'll move on, but I just want to say that I intentionally told everybody here, I was like, I need you to take a snapshot right now, because there is one of the next high school football games you go to, and definitely the next 1A Division II football game you go to, will be at AT&T Stadium. It's just wild. Anyway, we had a fantastic time. We appreciate Wade Johnson at Bluffdale for having us out, and congratulations to Zach White, the head coach of Cherokee, who had us out as well. In fact, we caught up with Coach White after their victory. Greg Tepper, Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com here in Bluffdale at Bobcat Field, where the Cherokee Indians moved to 4-0 on the year with an 84-44 win over Bluffdale. We're here joined by Cherokee head coach Zach White. Coach, first and foremost, congratulations. 4-0 is 4-0. I know tonight start was strange at times, but you guys ended up pulling out the victory. I have to imagine that you're pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, we were a little uncharacteristic with turnovers and losing a kick, and that changes the game real fast. We couldn't get off the field on fourth down, but it was good for us. You don't learn from when you're perfect. You learn from when you make a mistake and can watch it and teach it. And guys are trying their tail off. I'm so proud of this group. I've had them for 5 years, and they were little guys when I first got them, and they're starting to figure it out.
Let me ask you, because the first 3 games you guys cruised. You guys were really dominant through the first 3. Tonight, it's a good Bluffdale ball club that gave you guys a handful. Do you feel like you're going to gain something from this?
100%. Their spread game was amazing. They had probably the best athlete on the field by far. We struggled tackling, and further down the road, we're going to have to tackle a guy like that repeatedly to make a run. So it was good. It was great. It was a great team win, and offense looked good, but defense we need to improve.
Let me ask you about halftime, because you guys are not used to being in a ball game at halftime. This was a 1-score game at halftime, where they score right at the buzzer. What was your message to your guys in the locker room?
You got to play fast. We got to play faster, and we got to make plays. I put my best 3 guys right there with the opportunity to make the play every time, right over the ball, and they started doing that a little more in the second half, and so. Conditioning came a factor. I think they were a little tired, and we were still going. So,
let me ask you a little bit about your star running back Gunnar Ball. He was exceptional in the second half. I think 5 touchdowns there in the second half. This kid, pretty special. What can you tell us about him?
He's a great kid. He's a junior. The offensive line did a great job, I think. I mean, there was 4 or 5 of them that he was untouched. And the quarterback did a great job. He led about 4 or 5 of them into the end zone. So I would say it's a team effort on that. But he did a great job. He's fat. He's probably the fastest kid we got.
Well, and finally, let me ask you about moving forward. This is a team that has high expectations. They came into the year high expectations. You're off to this 4-0 start. Is there something maybe you know about this team now that you didn't know at the beginning of the season?
No, it was good. We lost a game last year in the second half to Richland Springs that hurt. Still hurts, but we're over it, and we're going to the next one. But so this was good to see them come out and really fight in the second half. We got the toughest district in the state of Texas, 2, 3, and 12 or something crazy. So there's going to be a really, really good football team staying home. So we don't want it to be us. We got to keep getting better.
Coach, enjoy this one.
Thank you so much.
There is Zach White, head coach of the 4-0 Cherokee Indians. Let me tell you, they've got 2 dudes on their team walking off the bus They've got this is going to sound crazy for 6-man. They have a kicker. I can look up his name. They have a kicker.
One.
I swear to you, he could kick off for Angelo State tomorrow.
Yes.
Really?
Okay, he's not just kicking touchbacks. He is rocketing them out of the back of the end
He's
zone.
better. He's the best kicker I've seen all year.
Rhodey
And
Ligon is his name.
And I've been to 6A games and 5A games, and he's the best kicker I've seen all year.
He had a rocket launcher attached to his leg. He was spectacular.
Kicked it into the baseball field.
I mean, they had dudes. This was the guys I want to shout out that really impressed me. For Cherokee, it was Gunnar Ball who really took over in the second half running the ball. He was fantastic. He looked the part as well. And then for Bluffdale, the guy he mentioned he said the best player on the field is DJ Wood for Bluffdale. That kid is special. That kid's really really talented. He was awesome. We had a great time out in Bluffdale. We appreciate them having us out. All right, Pickle. Do we have some questions from the people?
We absolutely do. Let's start off with one of the headliners. A little bit of a lighter week, but still some good games in this one definitely. What are your thoughts on Cuero and Cal Allen?
Well, you can listen to Tep and Step, you jerk.
Yeah.
No,
Or
okay.
read my preview.
Or read your preview.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to sound like we're saying the same thing over and over, but, like, I think it's so clear to me that this is a game dictated by pace. That, like, if Cuero can get Cherokee, or Cherokee.
Now, Cuero's playing Cherokee, we got news.
I was going to say, if Cuero can get Cal Allen playing.
It will not be close or dictated by pace.
If Cuero can get Cal Allen playing up and down, like, that's bad news for Callan. They don't want to play that. Callan's got to play in the mud.
They got to muck it up.
They got to get this game in the 20s. You know what I mean? If this game gets to the 30s, Callan's offense is good, but I think the secret here is Cuero's defense been very solid.
I think Cuero can win. Cuero can win a shootout, or their defense is good enough to win an ugly muck it up game. Cal Allen's got one path to victory. They've got to muck it up and hope they can do enough to contain Cuero's offense. Where I think Cuero, obviously Cuero's the favorite.
Yes,
just based off of that, I think they're the better, more complete team.
I think that's right.
But Cal Allen's playing well. They're improving. But
and this is a really good test for Cuero against a team that is the style of team they're going to have to beat in Region 4 in order to.
Cuero's in Region 3 now. I get used to saying that.
Can we start the show over? I embarrassed myself.
Tepper, you're not perfect. It's okay. I know perfection is what you expect, but it's okay.
You suck.
What's next, Pickle? Forgot they're in Region 3. That's so weird.
I know.
It's going to take me a while to figure out to get with Carthage being
Rob
in Region 2 as well.
emailed me about like a sponsor game, and I was like, "Well, Cuero's in Region 3, so they're going to go north in the playoffs instead of go south." That made me think of it.
I just got to think about it. All right, what's next, Pickle?
Let's go with your thoughts on Naaman Forest and Wylie East.
Naaman Forest and Wylie East. Okay.
There's a hipster pick.
For me, Wylie East is an unknown commodity still.
Unbeaten though.
Their schedule hasn't been the greatest. Naaman, we kind of know what Naaman is.
And Naaman, I think, is pretty good. And this is a perfect example of a team that may be better than their record indicates in Naaman because they played Louisville close, like competitively, and they played Plano East real close. And Plano East suddenly off to a 3-0 start.
Yeah, and we're real hot on Louisville.
Yeah, we're real hot on Louisville. Wylie East is 2-0, but they beat Berkner. And then they beat Grand Prairie.
Exactly.
Two teams that are a little bit in the mud right now.
I think we know a little bit more about Naaman Forest. This is really Wylie East's first true. There's Rob Melissa with the big giant check.
You have to take it to a big bank.
You do.
Yeah, I know. For me, I think it's more a matter of we're going to learn a lot more about Wylie East and how they fare. Because Naaman Forest is a team that we feel like is going to be in the mix for a district title in the Garland ISD district. Wylie East has struggled in 5A, moving up to 6A. They're better. Marcus Gold has done a good job there, but I think we're going to learn a lot about.
This is the best team
they
they've played. This is the best team they've played, and
by a wide margin.
And I think God's Power Nawahi is probably the best player they've played going up in the season. So anyway, what's next, Pickle?
With how much chalk there's been in 482 so far, who do you genuinely believe are the best teams? Is West Orange Stark still a top team? Or are they knocked out just because of loss?
So we talked about this on Monday, and I think you listened to it. But what's kind of remarkable is that it kind of this year in the rankings, it kind of really depends on which class you're in. That if you are in 4A Division 2, like I have bad news. There's one team with a loss in 482, and it's Pleasant Grove, who lost to an out-of-state team that's like 3 times their size.
It's a 6A.
It's a 6A.
It's a 6A enrollment.
Yeah, it's 6A enrollment.
Shreveport Bird has an enrollment of like 2,400.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only team with a loss in our top 10. As opposed to, if you can fog a mirror in 5A Division 2 right now, like you might be a top 3 team.
Yeah. Did China Spring beat Waco Connolly last night? No, that's tonight.
They play
isn't
tonight.
it?
Tonight.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
play tonight.
There's
That's in 4AD too, especially like 4A. Just comparing 4AD1 to 4. Cause somebody was like, "Well, Little Cypress Mauriceville is ranked in 4AD1, and they lost to West Orange Stark." But 4AD1 is right now,
Yes.
based on the data we have, really top heavy. There's it's like Stephenville, China Springs, Salina, and then it's kind of Cal Allen, Bernie.
Yeah, it's kind of the second tier.
4AD2, it's got 15 teams. Like there's a lot of really good teams that aren't even ranked right now because they just can't crack the rankings. So West Orange Stark loses and doesn't look good against PNG. And I know it's a bad matchup, but they just didn't look good at all in that game. So
if you're asking me right now in 4A Division 2 who I like Cuero, right? Remember Carthage?
Yeah.
For maybe the first time
They're
we're saying their
there.
name.
Yeah.
But like they've been very quietly just like mowing people down and
Just
looking,
destroying
just
people.
destroying people
Yeah.
like
I'm
they've been
telling
doing.
you too. Hershey is a really good team.
Hershey, Gilmer, Pleasant
Gilmer's
Grove.
got wins over Chapel Hill and Kilgore. Like
I mean, I'm telling you. So we're gonna get Gilmer and PG. When is that game? Gilmer and PG is
it's September 30th.
September. Of course, you know that. Gilmer and PG.
Well, I
is,
knew that because Gilmer's got
Yeah.
back-to-back buys.
Yeah,
That's why.
Gilmer's on back-to-back buys, and then they go to Pleasant Grove. That's like certified banger, and we'll learn a lot. For Carthage, like they get a game tonight against Marshall, and that's a nice test because it's a 5A. Then they get into district, and it's like Rusk is off to a good start, but I'm not sure they're quite on the Carthage level.
Yeah.
And then there's Van, which like your mileage may vary on Van. I think Van might be better than Rusk, quite frankly. But for me, I think a lot of the preseason stuff that we've thought has held. I think the power nexus is there in Region 2 with Carthage, Gilmer, and PG. I think they're going to beat each other up, and we're going to find out, that'll be a huge, whoever comes out of there is probably right now, if you're asking me, probably sees Cuero in a title game.
Yeah. And then you got Belleville kind of
Belleville
lurking
is
right there.
rolling.
They've been
Well, and that's the hard thing about the rankings, too, is just because number 11, 12, and 13 absolutely go out there and obliterate someone doesn't mean that the top 10 did anything to, merit having to drop down.
Waco Connolly the week before beat La Vega.
Yeah.
And they didn't make the rankings, but no one ahead of them did anything that I thought.
Right.
I mean, why would I drop a team that wins by 40 points? Like,
Right.
You can't. So it's hard. It's hard, especially early in the season because you're limited on your data set.
So the question was is West Orange Stark still a contender? I think absolutely.
they're
but I
probably
think
they're probably our number 11 team right now.
I would say
they're
so.
probably number 11. So.
I'd say they're number 11. The other thing about them is what I think is going to be interesting is we thought West Orange Stark was the favorite maybe in Region 3 or co-favorite maybe with Cuero. Now their danger is have they slipped behind Cuero? Have they slipped behind Belleville? Have they slipped behind Silsby?
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned Draylon Miller and Tigers. So there's good balance there. The only regions where I think that we feel like maybe there's a power vacuum would be in Region 1, where I think Hershey's probably still your favorite.
Clear Hershey and Glen Rose.
Yeah. And then Region 4, where I would say it's Wimberley right now,
yeah.
which is crazy considering they lost their quarterback.
Because Navarro's down.
Navarro's down bad.
They're struggling. So
Anyway, I mean, do you know who I'm sorry, we'll move on, but do you know who the computer has as the second best team in Region 4 right now?
not Sinton.
Divine.
Okay.
The War Horses, who are rolling right now 3-0, and they get a big game against another. They get a big game this week against Hondo. So we'll see.
Okay.
What's next, Pickle?
With the quarterback issues at Mount Vernon, does Region 2 open back up? I would say yes.
Yes. Big loss for.
So
Mount
we
Vernon.
haven't reported this on the show yet because I haven't been able to personally confirm it, but I know you have personally confirmed it.
Yeah.
That Mount Vernon quarterback Braden Bennett is suffered a knee injury.
Yeah.
And is believed to be out for the year.
Yeah.
Which is a huge blow to that offense.
He was
Everything.
He was really good.
He's really good. We'll find out. Now, we won't get a great measuring stick tonight. They play Gladewater Sabine, and they're just a lot better than Gladewater Sabine.
Should be. But if they
But if
they
the
struggle
offense
with
falls apart.
Yeah, they struggle with Sabine like they struggle with Pewitt. And I know Pewitt's a wonky matchup because of the slot T. But if they come out against Sabine and they struggle, I think even if they win, you might have to start talking about dropping them just because there's clear now evidence that they're not the same team.
Yeah,
Right.
and at that point, I think
That's the
Malakoff would
question.
end up taking over as the favorite in Region 2.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair.
Or Grandview.
Yeah, maybe Grandview.
Yeah.
You know, Grandview did beat Malakoff.
Yeah, Grandview.
Many people forget that. People forget that they.
Well, they play so much,
I
and
know.
every game is close. So
It's hard.
And I think Mount Vernon also had a pretty significant injury on the defensive side of the ball. One of their better defensive players. I think Mount Vernon's going to change their style and go to much more of a run-oriented system and hope that the young quarterback that's going to play.
Are you still holding on to some West stock?
I think they're in the mix. They played Lorena tough, so obviously they're in the mix as well. So West and Grandview are in the same district, so we'll get a good vibe on the Trojans and their kolaches and all that good stuff here in a couple of weeks.
What's next, Pickle?
Speaking of kolaches, let's transition to like quick hitters on some food questions.
Love it.
What's the best place to eat in Albany?
I've never been to Albany in my life, so I don't know.
Oh no!
I mean, never been to Albany.
Why are you here?
Why do we
What would
pay
you say
you?
that you do here?
Nothing.
I'm trying to think of what's around Albany. The problem is
Abilene.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go to Abilene. Perini Ranch is a little south of Abilene. That's like one of my. That's really good. But it's like going out towards Wylie. In Abilene proper, there's a good Mexican place on the loop. Miguel's is pretty good.
There's a pizza buffet there that's a lot like a Mr. Gaddy's. So if you're into Mr. Gaddy's, there's a good little pizza buffet there.
You're a big Mr. Gaddy.
You're a Mr. Gaddy
Yeah,
stan.
plate of ranch. How do you compete with that?
Is there anything in like Cisco or Breckenridge or anything around it?
There's Eastland. There's a place called Hef's Burgers, which is pretty good. That's a local. It's like a West Texas chain. That's pretty good.
Okay.
So,
next food question.
What is your recommendation for Conroe?
Ooh,
We've been to Conroe, but we
Yeah.
ate at the Noon Lions Club.
Yeah, we did.
there used to be a place in Huntsville that I liked. The church barbecue was pretty good, but it's kind of they're using gas now. And even though they're the Lord's, it's the Lord's barbecue. They're using a gas
Lord's
grill.
Yeah, and the rest
What
of
would Hank
Huntsville
Hill
is
think
kind
of
of chain hell.
Yeah. Oh, Conroe. You got to go into Conroe. I know that. Like typically, the problem for me, I've actually done games in the Woodlands, but that's not Conroe. I've never done a game at Moorhead Stadium, and knowing what I know about and typically I drive right through Conroe on 45 because I'm going to Houston or I'm going back. It's too close to Houston to stop. Usually when I stop, it's like in Madisonville or something. So I know there are some hidden gems, but you got to get off of 45 into town to really check that out. But I don't have any specifics because I just Conroe is one of those places where I'm just driving through.
Someone said Holy Smokes BBQ in Huntsville is amazing.
Okay.
I wonder if it's the same as Church Barbecue. They just rebranded, but
Holy Smokes sounds right. There can't be two religious based.
We've had that in the
I went to
before.
Church Barbecue when they were still using wood smoker, and it was pretty darn
It makes
good.
me a little sad that this is a side note that smoking for Jesus is not actually like a barbecue like
that's an idea though.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Smoking for Jesus. It's there for you
Smoking
guys.
for Jesus brisket.
Yeah. Instead, if you didn't know, it's like you're so on fire for the Lord that you're smoking. That's what it is. Anyway. It's in Kingsland.
It is. The last one. What's better, Chicken Express chicken or Chicken Express catfish?
I'm gonna go with chicken.
Yeah.
That is not a knock on the catfish. The catfish is very good. The catfish is in my, but I just prefer chicken to.
Yeah,
I prefer great chicken to great catfish.
Yeah, but
That's
you're a regular tender guy with the serendipity
I do.
salt.
The
I'm a
spicy-
spicy tender guy.
But then okay, and you just go with the gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like spicy tenders with the regular
Serendipity
serendipity
sauce.
sauce.
Got it.
That's the dub. Okay, there's your food questions. Let's see. Which one would you be more interested in attending? Lockhart versus Davenport, or Poteet versus Pearsall?
I would say Lockhart and Davenport, and I'll tell you why. One, there is a real argument, and I'm meaning this really, really, truly. This is the biggest game in Davenport high school football history.
The 3-game history.
The 3-game history. This is the biggest game. They get it at home. This is a winnable game for Davenport. I think I picked Davenport. I think I can do that. Poteet and Pearsall. Pearsall's been a fantastic story. If you don't know about them, they have been down bad the past couple of years, real bad. I want to say 1 in 19 the last 2 years.
It's been rough for the Mavericks.
They're off to
and this is a rivalry.
Yeah, this is a rivalry. There's a 3-0 start. I kind of think Poteet might expose them tonight.
Maybe, but I'll go Pearsall Poteet rivalry aspect.
Okay.
Pearsall. I've covered a game in Pearsall.
Okay.
Taco Alley. It's a street in Pearsall that has 5 amazing taco stands. Ben's Taco Stand in Pearsall. It is open till 2 a.m. There's probably going to be live chickens running around there, and they're probably going to be dead when you get there post game because they took them and they smoked them. So yeah,
And made them in
freshness.
They made them into
made them into tacos.
Into
Made
tacos.
some delicious tacos.
You want the tacos or not?
Yeah.
You want to see the sausage?
I mean, tacos got to come from somewhere.
Exactly right.
So Ben's Taco Stand.
Ben's
in Pearsall.
Taco Stand. Okay,
Nice.
that's fine. That's a much better reason than me saying it'll be a better game. But you can.
I mean, it's a rivalry game. It'd be a good crowd.
All right, Pickle. Let's do. Well, we got some time.
Is District 2 5A Division 1's Tasco's to lose?
I'd say
Seems like it.
it's right early on. They're the favorite.
Yeah, I think that they
Look,
have
Coronado's had some struggles early on.
I can't figure
Cooper,
them out, man.
Like,
Cooper's still offensively challenged. That's
yeah.
my issue with Cooper. So yeah, I'd say at the moment, Tascosa.
I think Coronado, as far as if a team were to reach their ceiling, could be that team to challenge Tasco. Remember, they beat them last year.
Beat them badly. Last year. I was at that game.
Did you see how the Caprock game ended?
Yeah,
there was a bit of a controversial call.
Yeah, the pass interference call and the interception. Yeah,
it's tough for Caprock.
It's tough for Caprock, but if you're also Caprock, you shouldn't blow a 32-14 lead.
I agree.
Yes.
That's the thing.
You know,
I agree with that. I mean, the thing is,
put that in.
Yeah,
you don't blow that lead. It's not that call's not.
Here's the other thing. Like, I'll say this: if Cooper goes out there and beats Ryder tonight, I'm willing to hear some Lubbock Cooper love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think they will, but
Cooper and Abilene High are in the same boat right now, where I've got questions about Abilene High's defense has been other than Midland Legacy torched them last week, but before that they have been pretty good. So
they scored 37 points.
I think right now Tascos is the team to beat.
I would agree.
Through 3 weeks.
I would agree.
And we'll see what happens. Yeah, Caprock is a real surprise in this district though.
They are, and
even though they lost to Canyon, they're still in the mix.
Yeah, and I don't think they're fool's gold. I think that they're for real. So
yeah, when you play defense like they play, you'll be in a lot of games.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Is there a level of panic at Manville after starting 1 and 2, especially with the rise of Fulshire, the Magnolia Schools, and Richmond Foster? I would say yes.
I would say panic is probably a little bit too strong for me, but I do think losing last night to Angleton is a big deal. That was a game that was going to be a real positioning game. I think right now, because here's the thing, I think Manville's going to make the playoffs. Because basically they got to win one of these. First, take care of business against teams like Kempner. Got to be friends with next week, which is no
picnic for sure.
No picnic. I would say that if you are Manville, you're not hitting the panic button, but you lost your margin for error. If they had beaten Angleton last night, you're like, okay, good. We can drop
a cushion game.
We can drop a game if we end up losing it to Magnolia West, or we end up losing to Fulshire and stuff like that. Then it's for real. But last night's a big eye opener, that the district, because the district's pretty strong.
Yeah,
I think what makes that scarier is the fact that they're a very young team, and at this point, you would expect to see some sort of they're starting to figure it out, and it felt like there was no, they're starting to figure it out.
So I picked Angleton to win that game last week.
Humble brag.
Just go back and look at the Week 3 Big School preview. I picked Angleton to win that game. I've been high on Angleton since 7-on-7. I like them a lot. But I 100% agree with you. I think Manville's lost their margin for error, and I think if they drop another one, at that point you're hitting. There's some concern.
Let me say this.
There's a yellow flag up right
Yellow
now.
flag.
Yeah.
They lose to Friendswood next week. 3 red flags. Throw them up, because
Now
then you've
missing
still
the
got
playoffs.
Magnolia West, Richmond Foster, Magnolia, and Fulshire,
Fulshire.
who arguably are all better than Friendswood. So
now you're hitting.
You're in trouble.
Yes.
So yes, next week is a huge game. Next week is their Cowboys Bengals.
Yeah. Caution.
Yes.
The caution flag is out.
Should we start to panic about Brock? I think we will have the answer to that.
I wouldn't even
After
panic
tonight.
after tonight. Did you see I got yelled at in the comments on the YouTube on the Picks video?
No, I didn't.
Because I previewed the Brock game again. And I'm like, they were a preseason number 1. They played 4 straight state-ranked teams.
I wonder if it's the same guy that was mad that we had him ranked at 0-2. This guy from Grandview, he's mad at us for ranking Brock.
Anyway, all that's to say, I wouldn't even panic if tonight is close against Gunner. Because the other thing is, I think what's so fascinating about this game, I feel like this is Gunner's first game.
Yeah,
this is
we're
game
gonna learn a lot about
game
Gunner.
1 for Gunner, because the 2 teams they played before, all due respect,
They're not
charter
in their weight
schools,
class.
or it's a charter school and a private school, and they're just a lot better than them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we'll find out tonight exactly what Gunner is.
If Gunner blows Brock away, we can. Okay, now we got issues. If Gunner swirls around and wins a 1-possession game, because Gunner, looking at the computer rankings, is probably a top 10, top 5 team in if they were 3 Division 1.
Yeah,
they're not. They're probably the worst quote unquote team Brock's played, but they're still really, really good.
Here's the other thing, though. The thing that's interesting to me. So the next, Brock could lose tonight. They'd be 0-4. They're going to be Boyd. They're going to beat Peaster. Okay, all due respect. But then they get an open date. Then 8 and 9, back to back, home to Whitesboro, at Paradise.
Yeah.
Whitesboro
Those
looks
would
good.
be the games that we expect, like no excuses for Brock.
Yeah.
Like those are games that a true state championship contender goes and wins, and honestly wins comfortably.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the measuring stick. So I hate to keep kicking that down the road, but like they've been competitive in 3 games against state-ranked teams that are bigger than them. Tonight will be another measuring stick, but it'll be a different one.
It's a Brock has been competitive in pretty much every game. They've made 2 or 3 really key mistakes in every game. I want to see if they do that again this week, or if those mistakes were brought on because they're playing such a high.
They turned the ball over
That's
5
yeah.
times against Wimberley.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that's like a little concerning.
Yeah.
Was like,
That's
hey,
the
you
thing.
can't be doing
Is that level of competition where those windows and those throws that you would normally make against a 3A team, you can't make them against better top 10 4A teams?
Now here's the thing. Let me also throw this out there. What if Brock goes out there and clobbers Gunner? Like, what if they go out there and they beat him 56-14?
Then they're going to be the team that we think that they are.
But what does that say about Gunner?
I think then we start to have questions
About Gunner?
Yeah, because
then it's like, okay, you played a couple of teams that you're just a lot better than, and then you played a team that can punch back, and you wilt. Like, that's a real question for me.
Yeah.
Because then, by the way, the next week they go to Gladewater. And I know Gladewater's 1-2, but that's a team that's going to beat your rear end in the trenches.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we'll find out a lot about. There's a lot to glean from this game.
I'm
tonight.
really interested in this.
This is like a huge data point for us moving forward for all of 3A. So let's do 2 more, Pickle.
How hot is the seat at Texas A&M?
Right now it is okay.
There's a different there's
Right. So this is a
Are you
weird
talking
conversation
coach or team?
because here's the thing, guys. Let me just tell you this: unless some sort of like horrifying scandal comes out about Jimbo Fisher,
He's not getting fired.
they're not going to fire him.
He has like a ridiculous amount of
He's
money guaranteed
owed
to him.
$70 million.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. They're not going to fire him. So, unless something like off the field happens, basically. Right now, what I think is so interesting about the situation at A&M is just how quickly
the fan base turns.
how quickly the narrative around them have turned, like from the fans of just being like, is Jimbo the guy? Like 3 weeks ago, they were ready to build him a statue.
Yeah.
Because
you know?
they brought in the #1 recruiting class.
Right.
That's all you heard about for 3 months. And then
Right.
they get 3 losses, and it's
So-
not even 3 losses.
So here's the thing. I think this game Saturday is, and Bill Connolly wrote about this on ESPN. I want you to go read it. Basically, if they win this one, everyone's like, don't worry about it. It was a hiccup last week. Great win at home against Miami, right? Everything's fine. If they go and lose this game, then they're staring at 1-5. Okay? Because Arkansas, at Mississippi State, Alabama. Okay? They're staring at 1-5. And at that point, everything is on the table, and people are talking about how Jimbo Fisher has got to hire an offensive coordinator, which at that point, why'd you hire Jimbo Fisher? You hire him to be the offensive mastermind. It's just like there's I don't want to put it all on one game, but tomorrow night's game is huge.
Yeah.
Massive for A&M, and just the way, because the other thing is that they're a young team, and
You don't want to lose them.
there may be an effort factor.
Yeah.
If they drop this game and then they get another week of people saying like, "Oh, A&M, look at them, they're February champions," stuff like that. They get another week of that. There may be some effort in the locker room. They win on Saturday. It's all sunshine and daffodils. And last Saturday was a weird one-off. But like, if they lose Saturday to a better Miami team, watch out. Okay, you got an ender?
Hang on, where did it go? Will DCTF come to the RGV to cover Vela and PSJA North?
Well, shall we break some news?
Here was some breaking news.
Matthew.
Is Matt Stepp.
So I don't release my schedule until usually on Sunday. I usually tweet out my schedule, but the plan as of now is for me to be at that game Thursday night.
How about that?
I will fly down to the Valley on Thursday morning, spend the day in the Valley, and then go to Edinburgh, Vela, and PSJA North Thursday night. Now, PSJA North still needs to take care of business tonight against McAllen or McAllen Rowe, one of the McAllen schools.
PSJ North is playing McAllen.
If they lost to McAllen, I might reconsider, because at that point I feel pretty
Computer's got them as
confident
23-point favorites.
they should win the game. So I would say, as of now, the plan is to be there. But PSJ North has to take care of business tonight. But yes, I actually do plan on being there. I won't have the swag wagon.
You ain't driving?
Well, I mean, I would if they would let me, but
Yeah, that's true.
so yeah,
That's
that
a-
is.
that's a haul.
So I know you and Pickle are very jealous.
I'm super envious. I'm furious with you. Now, do you want to reveal the other part of
You
your?
got the corporate card. I mean, you can
That's
just.
true.
You can
I
just
don't have a
fly
corporate
down.
card.
Oh.
Do you
Fly
want
down.
to? Do you want to reveal the other part of your wild?
We'll talk about that on Tap and Step.
Oh, there's a tease because
Become a subscriber.
This is the craziest schedule you've ever had.
It's pretty. It's a pretty wild schedule.
You're crazy for this one, Jay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I know you're super jealous. You're of my Friday.
We'll talk about
the
that.
location of my Friday game.
We'll
It's one
talk
of your
about
favorite
that
places.
on Tap and Step coming up here.
That is a lateral tease. 48 hours out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.